So we're currently living in what you could say is interesting times. Locally, interest rates are at around 1%, with a relatively flat yield curve. Globally, we're seeing some convergence of interest rate cycles again, with the US starting to cut rates. So what is your view on interest rates? Where do you think the markets are placed over the foreseeable future? And do you think we'll see any unconventional policy intervention like QE in the Australian market? So maybe we start with Tim.
Yeah, so look, unfortunately for retirees, rates are going lower. We think, and the market's got priced in, that rates will fall to 0.5% from 1% where at the moment. We think that'll probably be in October and December this year. So by the end of this year, rates down at 0.5%. The US will clearly be cutting rates probably slightly more aggressively, particularly if the trade tensions continue. So we are in a world of low rates. That's going to continue for at least the next 12 to 18 months. And the RBA said that recently, that rates are going to be lower for longer. The question of QE, I do think you will see some of that, and that'll be all about making sure that the rate cuts that do come through to the cash rates are passed on to consumers on the borrowing side. And as rates head towards zero, the banks will be keeping more of those cuts, and to help them pass them on fully, it wouldn't be a surprise to see the Reserve Bank providing some sort of QE to help that process.
And in terms of credit, where do we see credit actually being aligned at the moment?
In terms of credit markets, I certainly think investment grade credit is in a good space. I think the economy, whilst it's weak, is certainly not falling right over. I do worry to some extent about the high yielding credit sector, just particularly at what stage of the cycle we are in the US. So it pays to be cautious out there.
Okay, any non-conventional, non-consensus views?
Well, I think it's hard to disagree with what Tim just said. All the forces globally really point towards lowering benchmark cash rates, and I think we are going to continue to see that. That's going to continue to provide a tailwind to credit. Again, be cautious, taking on too much risk. But the QE issue as well, we think the same thing. We think there will be some QE. Look, it'd be great if we could get some fiscal support there. The impact and effectiveness of monetary policy globally could be debated, all week long. But that's unfortunately out of our control in terms of just how well they can roll out the fiscal component as well.
Yeah, look, I think the yield curve is already indicating that the lower for longer rate environment is here for a while, and the key indicators that the RBA is looking at in terms of inflation reaching within the target range in a sustainable manner, and unemployment and wage growth, we're not yet to see any of that sort of tick up within long-term trends. So we will likely to see additional 2 rate cuts by the RBA, and obviously depending on the growth rate of the economy next year, that depends on whether they sort of undertake additional QE measures, and as Tim said, how much of those rate cuts are being passed on to consumers. And we are likely to need some additional fiscal stimulus from the government next year as well to provide that growth for the economy.
Okay. So any risk of recession?
We've already had a per capita recession the last 2 quarters, so in other words, the only positive growth we've really had is from population. So we're already in a per capita recession, so you can understand why consumers don't feel particularly buoyant. I think we get, next month we get the second quarter numbers. There's a chance that we're in a private sector recession. In other words, we're going to get probably annually about 1.5% growth, but all of that growth is going to be coming from the government, which is doing a lot of spending, and from the external sector, where our export sector is doing quite well. So I don't think we'll get a technical recession where the economy overall goes backwards, but certainly in the private sector, that could be the headline we see next month. And it really does capture the idea that, whilst the economy's hanging in there, it's only because of things which most of us don't experience. So it's not in a good place. But the government is going to keep spending. Fiscally, we're in a strong position, so that will continue to be a positive force. And that external sector, despite some speed bumps, is still doing very well. So I don't think we'll see an overall recession, but it's not surprising some people feel like we are there already.